So I'm going to show you how we get the Boston butt, or as we call it in the UK, the spare rib shoulder, half a whole shoulder. As you can see, whole shoulder of pork with the hock on. First off, we want to take that hock off. So we make an incision there. As you can see, I've snapped the joint. I'm just going to pull it over the block a minute, just to go around this bone. So we've broken the join. See if I can do it like that to show you. It's a bit awkward, and that comes off. So that gets trimmed up the sausages. So next we want to split this shoulder. Now traditionally this was known as the spare rib half. This years ago was known as a hand of pork. The hand of pork was always a good roasting joint, really cheap. Bought it on the bone, but you've got a lot of meat, so if you had not a lot of money in a big family, this was the way forward. So taking my butcher's saw then, I'm just going to saw there, and then remove these. You could keep these as a set of a little mini rack of ribs. Right then, so this is a beautiful roasting joint, way before we realised it was good for barbecuing in the UK. Obviously we followed the US, and now everybody wants what they call the Boston butt. But what we need to do first is separate that hand. And if you see, I've cut right in between where those veins were, blood vessels, and that will allow us to find the ball and socket of the shoulder blade, as you'll see in a minute. Almost like a surgeon. And then just continue the cut, separates it off. Now that was a hand of pork. We'd have trimmed it up a little bit, not too much. Just took that little bit of neck off. Now that is a hefty piece of meat for a family of 4. I remember that used to be stupid money, like 79p a pound. Let me just weigh what that is, 79p. So in about 1989 that would have cost £4. Beautiful, used to sell tons of them. So on to this shoulder, spare rib, Boston butt, call it what you will. We just need to take the bone out of it. First of all, take this part of the rib cage. It's always difficult trying to do it with the camera overhead, so you can see, because it gets in the way. Right, we'll just take that off. And now, as you can see, we're getting to the good bit. So we need to take that blade bone out, the scapula. So just like us, the shoulder blade, triangle shape on the top, then underneath you've got like a ridge. So just exposing it there with this pointy knife, just going round it. This knife, I think, has had its day. I love these knives, these 5-inch semi-flexes, but because the blade's so thin that you can only grind them so much. Anyhow, so We want to go one side. I'll show you that ridge now. It has got a name, but it escapes me. As you can see in there, let me pull it so you can see. There. And then we do the other side, just loosen off the meat. And again, we find that ridge. And then that should loosen it a bit more. Just pull out. So there's your scapula, your blade bone, and then we're left with this. So just a little trim up. Any blood meat, any veins, sinew, just get it off. And then always just square it off. Remember, there's no waste, this is going straight to sausage meat, all the trim. Just take that neck bit off, because you've got a gland in there. I can show you that. There. And it's in there. So just take it off until it disappears. So that's gone now. It's nice and clear. So there you have it. There is your spare rib shoulder joint, or if you're of the barbecue persuasion, your Boston butt, which in that case 9 times out of 10, take the skin off, get your rub on, get it in the smoker. The job, as they say around here, is a good one. So that's how we'll sell it then. I've tied it up so we can cut whatever size a customer wants. Obviously if they want to smoke it or pull it, we'll take the strings off, take the skin off. There is the best tool for scoring the skin, a Stanley knife, and that can go straight. Let's have a look in the counter. So we got a nice fresh counter on this morning then. As you can see, chicken, we got our lamb, loins, shoulders, legs, we got our lamb steaks going over here, we got our fillet, ribeyes, sirloins, pork loin steaks, our sausages, a little bit of barbecue, chops, belly, and of course our pork shoulder.